Someone who is genuinely young and was a sensation when she got elected to the United States Senate from Iowa. Joni Ernst joins us right now. And Senator, thank you for taking the time. Yeah, I'd be curious what you make of this debate about the Federal Reserve. I know largely those who are smart enough about it in Washington don't like to comment on the Fed. But I do want to raise about with the tax cuts, and Lizzie and I were chatting about this, the idea that you're offsetting whatever gains you're getting in those tax cuts with a run-up in interest rates. Does that worry you just when you think of your own party's prospects in Congress?
It does worry me because we put a lot of effort into making sure that those dollars were staying in the pockets of our hardworking Americans. So we want to see that moving on in the future. So increasing interest rates does concern us.
You know, we're getting word from the White House, Senator, that the president spoke to French President Macron about how the U.S. and Europe might find some agreement or come together on these tariffs. I haven't had a chance to talk to you since the president has contemplated them. They're going to be big, and they spread to, obviously, countries like China, where they're going to be particularly big. Does the trade war worry you?
It does worry me, and the announcement of the tariffs, especially on aluminum and steel, really worry our Iowa farmers and farmers all across the United States, because we know that retaliation, especially when we have these tariffs going out, they are so easy for other countries to do on the agricultural industry. So we do have a lot of concerns about that, and we're afraid that a trade war will start. So we need to be very careful about what we are doing with tariffs.
Do you think this thing gets out of control?
Well, I hope it doesn't. And we have heard from the White House that they will take a case-by-case basis, especially with retaliation against America's farmers. It's wonderful that they are acknowledging there might be an issue with the tariffs. However, again, we need to be very careful about what we are doing when it comes to tariffs.
You know, switching, and it's something that I know you're interested in looking at, those who political appointees staying at agencies maybe a bit long.
Yes.
Before I get to the details of that, one of the things I thought of ahead of it was this notion that the president now has been calling out Bob Mueller by name on an investigation that seems to be running out of control. Now, Lindsey Graham, your colleague, had said that fiddling with that guy and trying to get rid of him might be the beginning of the end of his presidency. Rand Paul, with whom I spoke yesterday, says he doesn't think the president's contemplating that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the president is very tough on his rhetoric. However, as I have said before, let the investigation go where it goes. If there are facts out there that are existing and they've been discovered, then follow those facts and see where it goes. If it doesn't lead anywhere, then the investigation should come to an end.
But in the middle of this, you did bring up a very legitimate issue, and it's occurred on the left and the right, these political appointees who stay on and on and on, and might have their own agenda and might be doing their own thing. The Andy McCabe stuff comes to light. What are you trying to do about that?
Well, I have introduced today a brand new act which would prevent those political employees from burrowing into the federal government. So again, they're appointees, and what we don't want to see are these temporary assignments then turning into permanent positions within the federal government. So this would create a 2-year cooling off period. So those political appointees would have to take a time out essentially for 2 years before they could reapply for positions within the federal government.
What if you were appointed at the last day of the prior administration? You would have 2 years, right, in that position.
And then that would be too bad then if they are just recently appointed. It's up to the new administration to make those political appointments, and we should support whatever administration and the appointments that are made. But once that administration is over, then those employees should find their way out. They should have a 2-year cool-off. But at what level would that be, Senator? That's where I'm confused. Would it be at the assistant level, deputy level? It is political appointees. So anyone that is moving into a politically appointed position, they would have to take a time out. We do have to remember there are others that exist as employees within these federal administration agencies. They have worked long and hard to achieve senior levels of management, and to have them cut out by a previous administration's appointees, that's not right. So we want to make sure that we're starting clean break. Any new administration that comes in, they should be able to have their appointees. Certainly, we don't want to see a previous administration's appointees burrowing into the federal government.